The political battle lines in Rivers State have been redrawn once again as Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike delivered some of his sharpest criticisms yet against Governor Fubara and his supporters during a Thanksgiving service held on Saturday in Ochiba Community, Ahoada East local government area. Speaking with the kind of boldness that has become his trademark, Wike reminded everyone present that when it truly mattered during the 2023 presidential election, he and his supporters stood firmly behind President Bola Tinubu, even when doing so was politically risky and unpopular. His pointed message was aimed squarely at those who are now loudly proclaiming their loyalty to the president with chants of "On your mandate we stand," questioning where exactly these people were when such declarations carried real political consequences. The context behind these words carries significant weight because Wike is essentially calling out what he sees as political opportunism. After Governor Fubara recently defected from the People's Democratic Party to join the All Progressives Congress less than a month ago, following his return to office after a 6-month suspension, Wike appears to be suggesting that this move represents convenient timing rather than genuine conviction. The minister did not mince words when he stated that those now singing "On your mandate we stand" could not sing it when it was tough for people to do so, implying that his camp showed courage during difficult times while others only became vocal when the political winds had already shifted in President Tinubu's favor. What makes this situation particularly interesting is the history between these two men. Wike served as Rivers State Governor before his appointment as FCT Minister and was instrumental in bringing Fubara to power as his successor. Their relationship, which once appeared strong and mutually beneficial, has completely collapsed into one of the most intense political feuds currently playing out in Nigerian politics. The disagreement has not remained confined to just the two principals, but has spread to affect the entire political structure of Rivers State, including the State House of Assembly, local government administration, and various political appointments that both men claim authority over. During his speech at the Thanksgiving ceremony organized by Chibudom Muche, the chairman of the South-South Development Commission and former deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, Wike made it clear that he believes in honoring political agreement and that people should not enter into commitments they cannot keep. This emphasis on agreement is agreement has become something of a recurring theme in Wike's public statements, and he has repeatedly accused his opponents of benefiting from sacrifices made by others without acknowledging or respecting the arrangements that made those benefits possible. He also declared that political activities will officially resume in Rivers State from January 2026, a statement that many observers interpret as a clear signal that the current fragile peace might not last much longer. The minister went even further in his claims, describing himself as the most abused politician in Nigeria today after President Tinubu himself. If you have been following this story and want to make sure you catch all the latest developments as they happen, this is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any updates on this unfolding political drama. Wike argued that the criticism he faces stems from his insistence on holding people to their word and ensuring that political agreements are implemented as negotiated. His supporters in Ahoada East and Ahoada West local government areas received praise from the minister for standing with him during what he described as difficult times when supporting President Tinubu required real political courage. The broader political crisis in Rivers State has been building for more than a year now and has included some extraordinary developments. President Tinubu was forced to declare a state of emergency in the state back in March, suspending Governor Fubara, his deputy, and the State House of Assembly for 6 months due to the intensity of the political conflict and related security concerns. That emergency rule was lifted in September following a peace deal that was supposed to have been brokered between Wike and Fubara, but as recent events demonstrate, the underlying tensions clearly remain unresolved. The fact that Wike is now openly mocking Fubara's supporters and announcing the resumption of political activities suggests that whatever truce existed was more of a temporary pause than a genuine resolution. For ordinary Rivers State residents, this ongoing political warfare has become exhausting and distracting from the real issues they face daily. While their leaders engage in battles over political control and argue about who supported President Tinubu when and how loudly, regular citizens are concerned about jobs, infrastructure, education, healthcare, and security. The constant political instability makes it difficult for the state government to function effectively, and there is growing frustration among the public that their elected officials seem more interested in power struggles than in actually governing and delivering services to the people who voted for them. The situation is further complicated by the involvement of the State House of Assembly, where lawmakers loyal to Wike have been at odds with the governor. These legislators recently adjourned until January 26, 2026, making it impossible for Governor Fubara to present the state budget before the end of this year. The Speaker of the Assembly, Martins Amawele, has publicly criticized the governor multiple times, accusing him of neglecting public schools and failing to properly engage with the legislature on important matters of governance. Just recently, the Assembly even gifted Wike a brand new Toyota Camry as a token of appreciation, a move that clearly demonstrates where their loyalties lie in this ongoing political battle. What remains to be seen is whether there is any path forward that does not involve continued conflict. Wike's latest statements suggest he has no intention of backing down or softening his position. He appears determined to remind everyone of his role in supporting President Tinubu and equally determined to hold people accountable to what he considers binding political agreement. Governor Fubara, meanwhile, has been working to establish his own political identity and base of support separate from Wike's influence, a move that was always going to create friction given the nature of their previous relationship. The fact that both men are now in the same political party, the APC, following Fubara's recent defection, does not seem to have brought them any closer to reconciliation. The implications of this feud extend beyond just Rivers State. As one of Nigeria's most economically important states, due to its oil resources and strategic location, instability there affects the entire nation. Investors and businesses operating in the state are watching nervously as political uncertainty continues. The situation also raises broader questions about the relationship between state governors and federal ministers, about political godfathering and the expectations that come with it, and about what happens when political arrangements that helped someone bring to power break down after they assume office. As January 2026 approaches and Wike has declared that politics will officially restart, all eyes will be on Rivers State to see what form this renewed political activity takes and whether the current tensions will escalate further or somehow find resolution. Based on the tone and content of Wike's recent remarks, particularly his mocking reference to people now singing "On Your Mandate We Stand" when they could not do so during tough times, it appears that reconciliation is not high on his agenda. The coming weeks and months will reveal whether this political battle continues to dominate Rivers State affairs or whether some form of working relationship can eventually emerge between these former allies turned bitter rivals.